Now, since I turned 50, one thing I definitely know is that the vast majority of us, something happens to our body and things just start changing. I don't know what it is, I don't know why it is, but it definitely happens. So if that is you today and you've spent all of your life up until now thinking, oh, I know what to wear, this all looks great, and suddenly you put it on and it feels a bit off, today's video is all about you. I'm going to give you lots of tips on what you can wear, what will enhance your best features for whatever body shape you are now. So this is entirely dedicated to women over 50. My name's Michelle Barrett. I've been a personal stylist for 25 years. I now help people like you build capsule wardrobes that mix and match easily. Now, before I go on, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who is liking, subscribing and sharing. Please keep that coming. It genuinely helps me bring more content to you. I love hearing from you. I love hearing from you all over the world. I know some of you comment quite often, and I love seeing your little messages. I feel like I know some of you by name, though I've never met you. So please keep that coming. Now, if you have a wardrobe full of clothes which don't quite work for you now, but you're kind of holding on to them, you don't know what to keep, what to lose, or whether you should keep anything or whether you should just put it aside, download my Capsule Wardrobe Planner. It is entirely free and it takes you through all the questions to ask about what's in your wardrobe, what to keep, what to consider removing, what to put aside, and how to assess what to keep and what to put aside as well. And it'll also give you some ideas of how you can work out what else you might need to add. It's very, very practical. Anybody can follow it, and you can do it while you're editing your wardrobe. So that is entirely free. The link to that is in the notes. Now, the first one is the classic apple shape. Now, I would say this is one of the most common shapes for women kind of over 50 when they start to put on weight. It is often around the middle area. So if that is you, or you suspect you are an apple shape, do not fear, do not think that it is the end of the world, because it isn't, okay? So we can definitely do something about this. So one of the things that you don't want to do is you don't want to add any kind of bulk or anything baggy around that area. Now, what I nearly always see women do, this is one of the most common mistakes I see women do, is they will wear tops that come straight off their bust and hang straight down, because what they're trying to do is hide their tummy, and they're thinking, well, then you can't see my tummy sticking out, which I kind of get the logic behind it. But what that does is it just makes you look big all the way down. So we want to avoid that. So the best thing that you can do is choose what I call, which is like an empire line top, which generally comes in under the bust and then it kind of gently skims out over that tummy area. You want to just skim over that area, not cling to it with something tight and stretchy, definitely not shiny. Avoid shiny, stretchy material on that area. Because that is the worst thing you could do, but also that's not really bulky. Now, unfortunately, a lot of women's clothing, and I don't know which one it is, a chicken or the egg, but a lot of women's clothing aimed at women with a little bit of weight around the tummy does tend to do that. It tends to hang from here and just go out in like a big kind of tent shape, whatever it is. And I think that's partly because a lot of the women don't know how to dress, or they feel really conscious of that area. So they end up kind of covering up by all this fabric. But what they don't do, a lot of these brands don't do, is actually give them cuts and shapes that really work for them. So if you could find a top with a V-neck here, like a little bit of a V here, then it maybe have a line under the bust and it will gently skim out. That's kind of perfect, because that way you're kind of hiding that area. Now, you could put a bit of a pattern on it, or you could have like a dark color. I wouldn't go for anything shiny. Add kind of detailing and interesting bits and pieces maybe on your wrists, maybe on the hem of a skirt, maybe it's got a trim on the end of a skirt. Draw the eye somewhere else. So kind of keep the detailing kind of free here and add it here. Maybe you've got an interesting necklace or a scarf, or maybe on your cuffs, or like I say, on the hem of a skirt. Something, put the detail somewhere else. Or it could be a pair of shoes in a bag that matches through, that are in a bright colour, so the eye is drawn there away from here. That's one of the kind of best things you can do. Another little tip with an apple shape is wear a jacket or a coat that's open and draws the eye straight down. So if it has got like a trim or kind of a collar that hangs all the way down like that, that's kind of perfect. That's really, really good for an apple shape as well. Next up is the pear shape, another one that's very common, kind of post 50. Again, people putting weight around the hip and bottom area. Now, what you want to do with this is you want to wear the bright, light, floaty, detailed tops, anything that draws the eye upwards, around the hip area, anywhere down, or kind of waist hip. Go for medium waisted as well. Don't go for low waisted, because that line just cuts across your hip and makes it look even wider. So medium waisted, in a straight or probably a semi-wide leg. If you are quite petite, you don't need to go too wide, but something that hangs straight down from your hips, straight down. What you don't want as well, don't want any pockets on the hips, like any kind of detailing here, any crazy kind of, I don't know, pockets or kind of or embellishments, nothing that's going to add anything here. So what I would also have is quite a flat front. You could have a hidden zip down the side. A pair of trousers would be really good, and quite a kind of wideish waistband could sometimes work quite well as well. But something that's straight or wide leg, but not like too flowy and wide if you are quite petite. So have a V-neck as well, or like a wrap top, because it kind of draws the eye across. The other thing that you could do is go for like a Breton style, where you've got your stripes across here, then maybe a white panel, a navy panel across the top, because what that does is it draws that eye like that, which then kind of gives it a little bit of balance into the hip as well. So that kind of Breton style, if you're brave enough, and off the shoulder top, again, does the same kind of thing, because you kind of got this line going across and it kind of balances out the hip again. Now, I don't know about you, but one of the things that I've noticed since I turned 50 is that my eyes get a lot drier now. So these guys, Bob and Brad, wanted to send me their iOasis 3 eye massager. Now, I was a little bit sceptical, if I'm really honest, because I thought, massaging eyes. Now, I know that, you know, massaging around your temples when you've got a tension headache can make a huge difference. We sometimes do that in yoga. So I kind of knew that it might be good for you, but I was really sort of wondering, how does that work? You know, does it feel weird? You know, what would that be like? And these guys do lots of different types of massages. So they want to send me this one. So I thought I'd give it a go. So it comes in this little case, like this, little zippy case, and you can have your cooling eye gel mask. You can kind of feel the gel in it, so you can attach that to the inside of it, or it kind of heats it up. So it's all padded on the inside, as you can see there, and it's got an adjustable strap on it. And you charge it with this little port here, so it comes with its own little USB port to charge it up. But when we got it, we started using it straight away, and actually it lasted for quite a long time as well before we had to charge it up. So you just press it on here.
Bob and Brad eye massager is on.
So it lets you know what's going on.
Air pressure plus heat plus music.
So
Bluetooth connected.
So what's really interesting about this is that you can hear the music on it now. So you can connect it to your phone, and it plays music from your phone. And this changes the pressure on because you can see it now. Can you see it now moving? So that's where it's massaging your eyes. And this button here at the top changes the pressure. Moderate pressure. So you can either just have the heat as well, and it heats up. I can feel it heating up now. Or the music, or all of the above. So you can have music, heat and massage, or any of them on their own. What I liked the moderate pressure and then the high heat, because you can change how hot it is as well. So I will say that you need to get the strap kind of quite tight on your head if you're going to kind of put it on like this. It just goes on straight away like that. And I can actually feel that now massaging all around my temples, above my brow bone, and then underneath my eyes there. Now what I will say with this is when I laid back and had this on, it felt like it was positioned much better on my face. And I wonder whether it's because a weight and it's sort of sitting on your nose. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Imagine if you've got tension headaches or if you have dry eyes, that massage feels really, really good. So if you are interested in that, I have a 10% discount in my notes. So that's Bob and Brad Eye Oasis 3 Eye Massager. So take a look. Next up is the Hourglass. Now this is a kind of classic shape again. What you want to do is emphasize your waist, so you kind of think of kind of thick belts, something like that, that kind of gives you that kind of shape. Jackets, choose something that's fitted and got lots of shape to it, maybe with a peplum bottom to it or a peplum top. You can go for pencil skirts, you can go for kind of a slight A-line. I would choose something that's got a shoe that's got kind of a curve in it as well. So you've got that wonderful, amazing shape. Don't be afraid to show it if you're confident enough. If you don't feel so confident, you don't have to have things clinging to you, but kind of have something, you know, maybe a T-dress shape that kind of comes in, gently skims out and kind of goes out in an A-line if you're not quite confident for that really kind of clingy outfits, because I know not everybody is, and that's absolutely fine. Like I say, V-necks work really well, wrap tops work really well, sweetheart lines, necklines work really well as well. With trousers, choose high-waisted, maybe straight leg or a slightly wide leg. If you are quite petite, the high waist will also give you length as well. So that will kind of give you a little bit of length if you are quite petite. Now, if you feel like your body's really changed in the last few years and you kind of feel a bit overwhelmed with it, you've got a wardrobe full of clothes but nothing to wear, definitely book in for a discovery call with me. I can have a really good chat to you. We can have a little chat about how I might be able to help you. I can give you some tips as well, because I can't think of nothing worse than all you out there feeling kind of unhappy with the way you look. I want to help you. I genuinely want to help you. So please book in for a discovery call with me. I'd love to meet you. The link is in the notes. If you're a rectangle body shape, so you're straight up and down, what we want to do is try and create some shape around the waist. So belted jackets, belted tops, wrap tops that draw the eye across, a jacket with a peplum on it, which will kind of give it that sort of shape. Even a top with a peplum on it as well would be really good. Think of trumpet skirts that kind of come in, have a little bit going out, maybe an A-line skirt. Wide leg trousers, definitely don't go for kind of skinny trousers because that will make you go straight up and down again. So anything that's going to give you a kind of bit of shape, you know, even like a pleated skirt that kind of goes out and kind of gives you some shape. We want to try and create that shape, but definitely think about belts around here, you know, wrap jackets, wrap coats, wrap tops, that type of thing. Even asymmetric necklines and hemlines as well can kind of break it up a little bit so you don't look so much like this. We want to try and kind of create some lines across your body that break that up a little bit. Last but not least is inverted triangle. So you are probably quite broad across the shoulders and then slim, kind of tiny bum, tiny hips all the way down. So what we want to do is we want to create balance around the hip and the bottom area. So avoid any puffy sleeves, anything that adds detail here. Choose V necklines again, it kind of draws the body down. So keep, you know, avoid shoulder pads or anything that adds any sort of bulk, raglan sleeves, anything like that. Keep it very kind of slim and kind of tailored around your shoulder area. And then on the bottom, you could go for wide leg trousers, you could go for flared skirts, maybe A-line skirts again, maybe pleated skirts, because we're kind of again trying to bring the body in here and then create some shape around the bottom. So actually anything that has quite a lot of flow around the bottom would be great, because you're then creating balance with your shoulders. So have it draw in at the waist. So again, kind of wrap dresses, a wrap dress with a bit of an A-line skirt would be brilliant, because that kind of draws you in here, nice and tight around the shoulders, but then gently flares out. If you've watched all this and you feel like you need more help, then why not look at my membership? You know, Capsule Closet Success here on YouTube. It's for the price of a coffee once a month. We meet up live. It's a lovely, lovely group of women. Absolutely adore them. So I have a different theme each month. I come on, you can ask me questions, you can post questions in the community area. I get to know you much better. You can kind of get feedback from me. It's a little bit more intimate than just watching my videos. So if you feel like that might be something you might be interested in, take a look at the link in the notes. Any questions, let me know in the comments. My final tips for dressing for your body type is kind of think about the fabrics, where they're structured, the colour. So darker kind of matte fabrics on areas you're not so happy with or you want to kind of mute down a little bit, and brighter, kind of lighter, maybe patterns on areas that you want to kind of emphasize. Invest in well-fitting undergarments. That makes a huge difference, absolutely huge difference. So if you haven't done so in a while, go and get yourself measured up as well and make sure that you're wearing the correct size. That can make a huge difference. Think about fabrics and how they cling to your body. Think about how they're structured. Also use accessories strategically. So kind of it might be that you have, like I say, a bag or a pair of shoes that match you in a bright color because you're kind of trying to draw the eye away from your waist. Or it might be that you wear an interesting scarf or an interesting necklace or something like that because you want to draw the eye away from your hips. So choose those accessories very carefully and think about where you're putting them on your body. So I hope you found that helpful. Let me know in the comments what body type you think that you are. Let me know what you do and pieces that you feel work for you and pieces that you feel don't. I hope you have a wonderful week wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.